Hey everybody, welcome to another action-packed, exciting episode of Scotty's Record Town. Before we get into the subject at hand, two things. Number one, I ended up pulling an all-nighter, an unsolicited all-nighter last night. So if I'm a little, it's because I am a little. I haven't slept, but it's important to me to get these ranking videos out every weekend for you guys because I know some of you really enjoy these. Uh, Speaking of you guys, I really do. I say it every video, but I appreciate each and every one of you. We got a couple of new subscribers again, which welcome to Scotty's Record Shop. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you. I say that all the time, I know, but I really, really do. Uh, I've got to do a preface for this. I was originally going to make an entire video as a preface to this. What I'm going to do, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we're going to rank Bruce Springsteen studio albums. Uh, the preface is why I decided to do this. Now, I try, and hopefully I succeed most of the time, to try to keep these videos positive. I don't shit talk people. I try not to, because I want this channel to be kind of an oasis for you. The world is ugly enough as it is. But as you know, Bruce Springsteen is a lightning rod for some people, uh, especially for some conservative people. Now, this is where I don't usually share a heck of a lot about me personally, but I consider myself a very conservative person. So why on earth would I be making a Bruce Springsteen? I mean, he's a put in all those words that you think. Um, because I was thinking about this. This has been kind of going around in my head for about a month or so. Where obviously Bruce is in the news a lot lately, with his concerts, with his viewpoints. He's getting a lot of press. Good for him. I'm somebody who personally believes in freedom of speech, even if it's speech that I don't agree with. It's tough sometimes to swallow, but the reality is that's what makes this country great. The only thing that makes me kind of sad about all that is the fact that we just can't respect each other's opinions and we have to call each other names. And I'm not pointing out one side over the other because both sides kind of suck at that. So, uh, but as a conservative, I was getting a little confessional time, maybe a little bit. I was having kind of Bruce fatigue syndrome. It's like, oh my God, here he is again. And I thought, you know what? Does this affect how I feel about his music? Am I judging Bruce Springsteen, the artist, on how I feel about extemporaneous stuff? And I think that sometimes, and I'm not saying you specifically, you right there, because you're gonna go, I don't do that. Okay, I'm not talking to you, but there are some of you out there like me. Maybe that kind of creeps in and kind of colors how we view artists. All you have to do is go on like um, All Music or something like that. Not All Music, but Ultimate Classic Rock on Facebook and watch the shit shows that go. If it's a Ted Nugent thing, all the liberals come out and he's this and he's that and he's this and he's that. And then when there's a Bruce Springsteen or a U2 or something like that, all the conservatives come out and it's all, and it has nothing to do with the music. They're useless. They're not dead yet, kind of thing. And what I wanted to do was really fairly take a look at Bruce Springsteen's catalog. And it also gave me an excuse to buy a couple of CDs because there were a few that I didn't have, just a couple. I liked Bruce. Now I say liked in the past, like it's not like, I still do like Bruce. But honestly, I think that I was veering away from his music because it was just so, I was unfortunately connecting my personal views about how he feels with certain issues. I was connecting that to the music and it was turning me off. Right? Does that make sense? And I really wanted to fairly evaluate his catalog. Now, there are some hot takes in here. And I am going to be really honest about how I was feeling at certain points of time, because I had very strong feelings about what was going on. in his career at certain times. And I'm going to share that. But honestly, I found the majority of his catalog, and I knew this already, was pretty enjoyable. He's an incredible, agree or disagree with his politics and his social, political, whatever. He's a hell of a performer, and he's really good with words, really good songwriter. But we're going to find out that he may have he mumbles sometimes. Well, we're going to deal with that on some of these albums. A friend of mine said it's because he's from Jersey. No disrespect for you dudes and dudettes from New Jersey, okay? Because I was down there for about 3 months. I love New Jersey, Southern New Jersey. Anyway, way back. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay. 21 studio albums, but we're cheating because there's an album that is kind of a collection of things that didn't make an album. Of course, he's been putting these big box sets out. This is not a big box set, but this really feels like an album to me, and it was a damn good album. I really enjoyed it, even though it was a collection of leftovers from another album. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay. So that makes 22 CDs, or albums, however you want to look at them. I've got the early albums all on vinyl, too. I bought them when they came out. Or not all of them when they came out. I'll get into it. So I got into Springsteen about 81 with The River. And then I went backwards and picked up, the other stuff. Okay? And then we moved forward and all kinds of shit happened. But we'll get into that. Bottom of the pile for me. A lot of people feel this way about this album. Working on a Dream. I tried. Some of these albums I went back and I listened to. Like I said, I've been working on this for about a month. I went back and I listened to some of these albums where like, I didn't like these albums when they came out. Because it happens. You listen to it. As time goes on, it seems better or something. This didn't. I mean, any album that has Queen of the Supermarket on it, that almost disqualifies him for being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, really. This album, there's some okay stuff on it, but it almost seems like Bruce Springsteen doing a caricature of Bruce Springsteen. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. Okay, so that's at the bottom. Next one, High Hopes. I tried. I want to like this album more than I do. I just don't. I mean, I don't know. It's just, again, these ones at the bottom, I don't have a hell of a lot to say about them. I know that it with Springsteen fans, I mean diehard Springsteen fans, I know that I'm not alone, that really these two are kind of on the bottom for you guys. I get that, I feel that. Some of these I got when they came out, some of them I didn't. These I did get when they came out, and it was like, alright, whoops, hold on a minute, I just had a booklet. I'm doing this with CDs and booklets are flying all over the place. Right. Can't have that. All right. Next one, or should I say two, because they came out right after each other. Same day. Okay. Now, I think I view this like a double album. And you know how I feel about double albums, right, kids? You take part of each of these albums, mesh them into one album, and you got a pretty damn good album. Again, I bought these when they came out, or fairly shortly after. This one I got a little later. Obviously, it's a Best Buy. But anyway, again, it was just like, and this was where I kind of gave up on Bruce. I'll be honest with you, when I gave up on Bruce the first time. It just was, okay, Bruce, you're overdoing it here, okay? Again, if you take some stuff off of each of these albums and you mush them together, you've got a really pretty decent album, honestly. But okay, so there we go. 2-4, a 2-4. This is a hot take. I've seen people rate this their favorite album. I don't understand. I respect you, but I don't understand. When this came out, I was like, Tunnel of Love. On the album, side 2 is better than side 1. But I just even look at this cover and it's like, it reeks corporate. Bruce was, after Born in the USA, and even during Born in the USA, and I like that album. You'll see where that comes up, even though I'm burnt out on it. The market was really oversaturated, and if you were around back in the late '80s, mid to late '80s, everything was friggin' Bruce. Bruce gets married. Bruce gets divorced. Bruce is cheating on his wife. Bruce went to the bathroom and missed the toilet while he was pissed. I mean, it was like Bruce. It was oversaturated, and I always viewed Bruce, especially like when I first got into him, and especially when I started listening to the early albums, he was kind of a rebel to me. He was kind of his own person. He was. I don't give a shit what the record company wants. I'm doing what I want, and I think that Bruce kind of came back. But here, this was corporate. I'm not saying that there wasn't decent writing. One thing that really kills this for me is the production. Is the late '80s drum machine, and it's not even as bad as a lot of '80s production. It's Bruce, and Bruce was above that for me, and no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. So, Tunnel of Love. I'm sorry for all of you that love this album. I don't. Okay. All those albums were like, I don't really listen to them anymore. I went back and listened to them for this purely to decide, okay, has my opinion changed? And obviously it hasn't. Okay, now we're going to get into albums that really aren't bad. All the rest of these, and there's a nice little pile here. I mean, seriously, people, right? A nice little pile. These are not bad. They have issues, maybe. The next two are a perfect example. We'll go with Devils and Dust and Ghost of Tom Dowd. Okay, both of these really stripped down, and I like that. You know, I like the fact that he threw away the drum machines. He and I respected that because it's like, okay, Bruce is doing what he wanted here, and the writing is good. It's weird because the two drawbacks to these albums, one to a lesser degree than the other, is that there was much more time put into the words than necessarily the music. The music is very simplistic, almost overly simplistic. And in that respect, it maybe doesn't do justice to the lyrics. But the lyrics on these things are wonderful. They really are. I mean, it shows that he's a very witty writer. Now, here we're going to get into the mumbling thing, okay? I've noticed, especially on these two albums, man, what the hell are you saying, Bruce? I'm visually impaired. It's hard for me to read inside here. The lyrics, it's hard, buddy. Have pity on me, okay? It's hard. But I did. And I realized, okay, these songs are great. You just enunciate. Again, like my friend Roger said, it's because they're from Jersey. He's from Jersey. I don't know. When I was there living down in Jersey for the short time I was there, I understood everybody. Okay? Bruce. Bon Jovi doesn't do this. But anyway, these are not bad albums. I would look at the lyrics, though. As you're listening to this, pull out the lyrics and follow along. And you'll get more enjoyment out of this. These are albums you have to listen to. You don't just put it on as background. And it's there. And because you're not going to fully get what these are about. Okay? Okay. There we go. Continuing on. Again, we're into decent albums now. Okay? Wrecking Ball. The positives and the negatives to this, okay? And this is where I was, and at the time when this came out, and this is, I think, still where I am. I mean, he's on his Land of Hopes and Dreams tour. I think it's over, but he's still on his hopes and dreams. He has hopes and he has dreams, and that's on here. That's a damn good song, really. And there's some really good songs on here. Wrecking Ball, title track is about a stadium in New Jersey. New Jersey or New York? I'm talking like I'm from Jersey. I'm sorry. No disrespect to you guys. But it was about it's an ode to this place that he used to play. Shit, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, where it was, but he wrote a song. Now there's other songs on here about banks and how the financial crisis that was going on at the time, and he was a little preachy, I think. And this is personal opinion. Thank you for allowing me this. I still have a hard time. Before I preface, even I need to preface. I know that Bruce had a very hard, very poor upbringing. Had kind of a shitty relationship with his dad. I get that. I understand that. I respect that. The man built an incredible empire. And that's what it is. It's an empire he's built. I mean, multi-millionaire, busted his butt to do that. I respect that. That's America. That's what makes America great, kids. I have a hard time, though, when millionaires, almost billionaires, preach to me. Because I'm still where he was. Okay? I'm not rich. I'm making it week to week. I'm not on tour. Now, I think he has the right to do that. Again, freedom of speech, baby. But it just kind of like, I would rather talk to someone about poverty and struggles and stuff with somebody who is, than somebody who comes out every once in a while and does it and makes a shit ton of money doing it. Sorry, but that's just where I'm at. Still, throw that aside. Please don't be offended by that. It's a pretty good album. Really is. Other than those little, things. And he was enunciating a little better on this. Good job, Bruce. Okay. The 9/11 album. Okay. The Rising. Don't mind me. I have to look at these things. I know these albums, but like my brain is fried from being up all night. But The Rising. Just be grateful. I'm not looking at it like this. Really am. I mean, these glasses are thick. I don't see well. The Rising. I like this album. I remember when this came out, and like everybody else who kind of went through 9/11, it kind of was a unifying. This was one situation where I think Bruce was really attempting to unify. And I think it's really awesome that he decided to look at all the different perspectives. I mean, there's a song on here. What is it? Paradise? Is that what it's called? Yeah. I mean, he's addressing the thought process and the of one of the suicide um, plane crashers or whatever, and not glorifying it by any stretch, but like everybody involved in that were humans, whether you were committing the horrible acts or you were a victim of the horrible acts. And Bruce did an amazing job on that. Just a really uplifting, and I respect that. I truly respect that. I mean, the one song on here that people kind of throw off as a throwaway, a shit track. It's just because it's not as intense. It's more of an upbeat, happy thing. It was put on here, I think, to just lift people up. You know, so is it his best work? No. Is it a good album? Absolutely. The Rising. Bruce has done a couple of cover albums, and I included them. Um, you know, I sometimes I don't include cover albums. I like them. Okay. The first one I'm going to include um, is his last actual album. We're not talking about tracks two. By the way, tracks and tracks two. I didn't include. I don't have them. I especially don't have tracks two. I've got them on digital format, and I've heard them, but I'm not as familiar, and I don't. I'm being hypocritical because I'm going to include something else here, but I don't include them. They're just not normal kind of releases. They were recorded. Anyway, I'm digging myself in a hole, aren't I, when you see what's coming up a little later. Anyway, Only the Strong Survive. It's a covers album. It's his most recent from a couple, 3 years ago. He doesn't reinvent any of these songs. He just sings. Some people are like, they put it lower because it's like Bruce Springsteen karaoke. Yes, he loves these songs. Yes, he seems like he's trying too hard to sing these songs. I just think the guy's having fun doing it. And you know what? He's a millionaire. He can put out an album every once in a while that isn't going to make everybody happy. He's just going to have fun. And I think with this one he did. And I enjoy listening to it. First of all, because I love, long before this came out, I knew all these songs. And I love soul music, R&B. But the cool thing about this is some didn't, this is their introduction to some of this stuff. And they went back and they discovered some freaking great music. So good for you, Bruce. You turned a few people on, and you made it an enjoyable album, not a groundbreaking album, but it's an enjoyable listen. So if you can find it cheap, then go for it. Only the Strong Survive. Next one. I don't have a hell of a lot to say about this album. It's not that because I don't like it. It's okay. It's serviceable, but it's a good rockin' album. Okay, we'll talk about this. This is just Bruce returning to rock and roll for the most part, and I want to say more about this. It's not overly sensational, but when it came out, everybody was like, "Great!" He the people that wanted the kind of the E Street kind of rock and roll kind of thing, they kind of got it a little more here, right, with Magic. So I again, I like the album. It's enjoyable, not groundbreaking, not the best work he's ever done. It's why it's in the middle, right? But it's still okay. So this one, I really dug it. Back in the '90s, and we'll get to this because eventually we're going to do some more ranking Bob Dylan. In the middle of the '90s, Bob Dylan sort of had a renaissance where he kind of just took a guitar out and started singing old traditional folk songs. And I dug it. I really dug it, especially after kind of the disappointing start to the 90s. We'll deal with that when we do our next um, Bob Dylan ranking, when we look at his 90s stuff down the road. But at the same time, although it's not as stripped down as Dylan's two albums, We Shall Overcome, all Pete Seeger stuff. And it's done in a very rootsy kind of rootsy, maybe not even the right word, but kind of there's all kinds of different instruments and stuff on this, but it's definitely not a rock album. And if you're not into this type of stuff, you're definitely going to be turned off. But Pete Seeger was a great songwriter, and a hero to Bruce. You know, um, Bruce kind of follows in that at times that vein of and honestly, when he was starting out, the vein of kind of protesty, but just I don't know how to say it. He just kind of rebel-y kind of thing, and this is just a really really good album. Just a really good. But again, if you're not into the style of music that this is presented on here, it might be a rough listen. But I encourage you to at least kind of open your mind and give it a listen at least once. You might find something there you like. Okay. Okay. Um, take a look here. What we got? Obviously, we're going to be getting into the classic era of Bruce. It's my favorite era. Classic era being 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, eventually. We got a few more things to deal with, though. Letter to You. I didn't originally get this when it came out. I don't know why. But I really like this album. It really is an, for the most part, like I would almost call it like a mortality type of thing. Bruce was really thinking about my life, not mine, but his, and the I'm getting older, and you know what, I can relate to that. Okay, and yes, there's three songs on here, I believe three, that were earlier E Street Band songs that just never got recorded, and they're great, by the way, because it's in Bruce's old kind of writing style. If you remember his first two albums, he was very wordy and played a lot of word games, and some of this shit nobody even knew what he was talking about, but it really sounded good. But anyway, I just really, one of these that I picked up recently, and it was like, wow, this is really, really, really good. Matter of fact, the next two I picked up, well, this one and the next one, I picked up recently, and it was like, I was really surprised for his later work, how much I really like this. So, Letter to You. This next one, I wasn't sure. I'd heard about it when it came out, and I was like, well, I mean, I wasn't a kind of like, I'm okay with more Bruce, okay? Let's just pass. I'm glad I picked this one up. Western Stars. Bruce is trying to write in kind of like like if you pull out an old Glenn Campbell album or something like that, really well written, really well produced, really well sung. You know, some people are like, "Oh, Bruce can't sing." He can sing, and he can write, and he doesn't just write protest songs. It's not just his only bag. He writes. He can really write, and I am really glad that I picked this album up, because it's not sure if we're in our top 10 yet, but we're pretty damn close to it. Wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we are in our top 10. Okay, this is a damn good album. Actually, both of these are in the top 10, and they're really recent albums. So, if you want to hear Bruce doing something a little different, other than the Born to Run kind of stuff, maybe some of his protest stuff. Maybe you're a conservative person like myself, and some of the maybe some of that protest stuff that he's doing now doesn't work for you. Pull this out. Give this a listen on Spotify or whatever. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay, this is where we cheat. I'm not going to make any apologies for this, but The Promise. This is these are leftover stuff. It was recorded that were recorded during the Darkness on the Edge of Town sessions. Bruce tended to record a lot of music. Still does, right? I mean, that's why he was with the tracks too. It was what, 8 albums of stuff that just was laying around. You know, he's probably got more, knowing him. A very prolific writer. This is good. This is really, 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 really. You know, one thing that's a little odd about this, not bad, but odd. There was a few tracks on here where you can tell the older Bruce went in and did the vocals or redid the vocals because it's an older Bruce sounding. Still good, but an older Bruce. This not only has, I mean, this has songs you would know. Because the Night, which Patti Smith did. It has that on here as well. Fire, what the Pointer Sisters did. Made a big #2 hit in '79. Obviously, Bruce did that first. And we heard that, I mean, those songs he did live. And we've got those on live albums and stuff. But studio versions are here, along with a lot of other stuff. Just a great listen. If you like early Bruce Springsteen, listen to this. You will not be disappointed with The Promise. Okay. From here on out, theoretically classic Bruce. I really dug this when this came out. I still really dig it. Some people love it, put it really high. Some people don't like it so much because it's so uncharacteristic, especially of the time. Nebraska. I remember getting this when it came out and thought, this is really, you know, after the river, so different. And it really, and the river, like I said, was my first Springsteen album. And when he took this totally different path, I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy. He didn't care that this wasn't going to sell. I mean, he tried to do this with the E Street Band, which these things are out. You've got you've got the super deluxe thing um, with Nebraska that came out last year, right? Yeah, last year. I'll be honest with you. The live versions of these songs, some of these songs, with the E Street Band doing them live, they're great. The studio versions that are on that collection, that box set, I can see why Bruce went with these. As rough as they are, I just find them raw and honest, and just, I think it just worked. And yes, these are cassette demos. I mean, putting out a bunch of cassette demos for a proper album in 82? 82. What was he thinking? I don't care. It's a great album. The before mentioned, The River. What's wrong with this album? Really only one thing. It's a double album. Here we go again, me and my double album thing. But really, I'm thinking about all the tracks on here. From what I understand, I guess when there was, I've not heard it yet, and I really kind of should. There's an massive expanded box set of this, and one of the things in there is a single version of this album, single album version that Bruce was thinking about putting out, and everybody's like, "Bah, we're glad he put out the double album." I really want to hear the single version of it. I think there's more than one album's worth of great stuff on here, but there's maybe one side worth of music that I could live without, that I think is just kind of filler. But I remember hearing a lot of this on our local college radio station, because obviously, you know, radio was playing Hungry Heart and stuff like that. But there's a lot of really good songs on here that our local college radio station here in my town, by the way, which I ended up working at for like 23 years. That's how much I love that place. Played a ton off this album, and I really fell in love with it, and I went out and I got it. So anyway, at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At number 6, I've not been doing the countdown because, like I said, I'm at number 6, The River. Okay, a lot of people view this as his greatest work. It's a great album, and I don't know why I'm putting it down this low. It just is what it is. There's nothing wrong with this album, but they've got to go someplace, you know. So, Darkness on the Edge of Town. What's people? If you put this at number 1, I get it. I'm good with it. I'm completely fine with this. There's a couple of things I think on here that are not, for me, kind of. Let's put it this way: The Promise. I could have taken a couple of things off of this album, maybe 2, maybe 3. Taken a couple things that were on the Promise release, put them on here instead. Would have been the best album he ever made, for me. Not that it's a bad album. In the top 10, pretty high. At number 5, can't bitch. But that's where it is, kids. For me, you know, your mileage may vary, and I respect that. Okay, this album, when it came out, was the shits. Everybody loved it. It was what it was. It's his biggest selling album. 7 singles released from this album. And by the way, cool little side note, which I'm sure if you're a Bruce fan, you know this. Bruce has a tendency of putting out singles with the B-side of the single having songs that weren't on the album because he was so prolific. And so pretty much all 7 of these singles that came off of Born in the USA all had non-album B-sides. And I've got most of them, and they're, for the most part, really, really good. Even one of the flip sides is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Live version. Some people are kind of sick of that. I'm not a big Christmas music fan, but I especially when it came out, I thought that was pretty damn cool. You know, Clarence, better be good. I dug it. Is this album overexposed? Am I burned out on this to some extent? Yeah. Do I pull this out a lot? No. The non-hits on here are wonderful, but you have to sit through all of the hits, which is the majority of this, to get to these other songs that are not overly overexposed, overly played. Is this a great album? Absolutely. Did it deserve to be as big as it was? Yeah, I think so. An interesting side note too. This is the first album that I actually heard on CD. Went into a place called I think it was New England Hi-Fi, way back in the day in my hometown, and I walked in. I'd heard they had these new CD players, and I went in and I said, "Hey, can I hear what these CD players?" Now I couldn't afford it. I was like a teenager, but they were really cool. They knew me. They're like, "Yeah, come on out back." They had a big listening room, you know. And you, of course, you've got the $30,000 sound system, right? I mean, freaking ridiculous sound system that I still can't afford, and a CD player. And they put this on for me, and I was like, far out. It sounded so good. There was no noise in between the tracks. It was just like, wow. So this album holds a special place in my heart for that. You know, first CD I actually ever heard. Not the first one I ever owned, but the first one I ever heard. Okay, I'm going back because please keep in mind I'm exhausted, okay? not Darkness on the Edge of Town. Okay? That's this. I'm looking at it, I'm going, shit. Okay? So please, if you're already typing going, you're an idiot, A, keep in mind I'm freaking zonked. B, you can go back and erase your comment. Now, okay? His second album. It's still where it is. Okay, it's still where it is. But connecting when I was talking about The Promise to this, disregard that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I knew that I was going to do something like this. It is what it is, kids, okay? And I'm not going to re-edit it like some people do, and screw that. These are my videos. This is just you watch these because you know me. You know, nothing fancy, no frills, none of that bullshit. No, none of that. Okay, Darkness on the Edge of Town. Hi. Everything I said about this still remains true. Okay, still remains true. It is a great album. It is, and like I said before, if you could just take 2 or 3 songs off of this and put stuff from Promise, it would be great. It would be his best album. Okay? Okay. I know I'm going to hear it from you guys. I deserve it. I deserve it. Okay. Number 2 and number 1. Number 2 is high for some people. And I just recently listened to this album. I friggin' love this album. I just think it's a great album. Yes, it's not what the E Street Band sounded like live. It wasn't even, for the most part, the E Street Band yet. But it's just such a wonderful starting point. Greetings from Asbury Park. I just love this album. It hasn't changed. There are days where I like this album more than I even like what's at number 1. I really do. Obviously, Manfred Mann's Earth Band love this album too because they took 3 songs off of it. Okay, and to be honest with you, yes, I think the Manfred Mann versions probably are better, although Bruce doesn't think so. But Bruce made a hell of a lot of money from those 3 different covers, so Bruce, relax. Okay. Yeah, it's raw. But it's just. I'm looking to be just a little kid, a young guy. It's great. Yeah, I fell in love with this when I first heard it, about 81. When I heard it all the way through, great album. Number 2. Number 1, yeah, it's cliche, right? But it really is, for me, kind of the E Street Band. This was where he really took off nationwide. And, okay, yeah, Born to Run. All right, yeah. But you know what? Come on, this is a great album. Some of it is overplayed, yeah. You know, how many, do I need to hear Born to Run again? Maybe not. I mean, it's not like I turn it off when it comes on the radio, but, you know, I'd rather hear other Bruce songs. But really, this is a brilliant album. Deserves the hype that it got back then. I mean, he made the cover of several magazines. He was the newborn messiah, kind of taking over for Dylan, kind of, you know, Dylan Jr. I remember all that crap, and it's like, no, but what a great friggin' album. Still is. Always be, like I said, these 2 kind of flip-flop. Sometimes this will go number 1, but most of the time it's these 2. Okay? Alright. So that's that. Okay? My favorite out of the 22 that I've shown, Born to Run. Alright, again, I apologize for the mix-up on The Wild and the Innocent, and yeah, I'm not going to keep apologizing, but keep in mind, A, I really am visually impaired, kids, and B, I really am tired, and I wanted to just get this out for you guys. Like, subscribe. Remember, if you make a negative comment, and you bitch about how stupid I am, the algorithm still will count that as a plus for me. So if you're trying to kind of go, stick it to me, you're really kind of helping me anyway. So just don't, let's just be positive, right? Let's just be happy. The point of this, very simply, is if you're allowing extemporaneous stuff to prevent you from liking or continuing to like an artist that maybe you used to like before, say Ted Nugent if you're a liberal, right? I encourage you to not change your point of view, but to go back and listen with new ears to this music that you used to like, if you're one of these people, used to like before they became the asshole that they are now, or whatever. Because we're losing out. I'm really grateful that I did this little experiment. I kind of got a newfound appreciation for Bruce. It didn't change my opinions on, we disagree on stuff. But let's be nice and appreciate people's artistry and appreciate the fact that we're all human beings and we all have different opinions. Let's stop calling each other names. Let's respect our differences. That's what makes us human. And that's what makes this country so great. Okay? I am done preaching. Amen. Like, subscribe, share. And again, as always, I appreciate you guys very, very much. Until next time, everybody, peace and love.